Welcome guys in another lecture of Python programming. In last lecture we saw basic input output methods in Python. In this lecture we'll learn about different data types in Python. So basically you know how to create a Jupyter file. I have already created one and I have renamed it to data types in Python. Starting off, variable holds or store the data of different data types. So data type defines the storage method for any data, and type function is used to check the data type of variables. What are the different built-in data types available in Python let's see. First is numeric data type, which store numeric value, and it has been categorized into three types: integer, float and complex. Writing a equal to 5 and then printing a, print bracket a, we have already done this in last lecture. We have already checked for integer. Let's check for float and complex. Print b and taking another variable c equal to say 1 plus 2j, print c. Okay, we can also use type function to check the type. So print type a, print type b, print type b, and print type c, and print type c. Run this using shift enter will run this cell and see. Okay, 5 is int, 5.9 is float, 1 plus 2j is complex. Moving on, how Python treats a very large number. Say I have got a number 1.8 E325, and this means that it is 1.8, let me comment this, 1 into 10 to the power 325. Okay, sorry, 1.8, let me rectify this, 1.8 325. Running this, print d and see what Python gives. Infinity. So Python is treating a very large number, practically 10 to the power 325 is very large number. What about a very small number? Copy paste. Okay, copy paste this and renaming it to another variable, e equal to 1.8 e to the power minus 325. So it will become 1.8 10 to the power minus 325, and running this it will give 0. So practically very large numbers are treated as infinity and very small numbers are treated as 0. Now like decimal, we are dealing with decimal, we can also write hexadecimal, binary and octal numbers in Python. 0 small x10 or 0 capital X10 means hexadecimal or base 16. Checking this, print f, see what it gives, shift enter. Okay, so this is 16. 0x10 by default is 16. We can also check the type by using the type function here, print type f, and this will give, see, okay, this belongs to integer class only. Similarly, we can also write for binary. So in place of x, you can write a small b or capital B, and this will give binary. Binary means base 2. We can run this also, print type g. I'm copying this and I'll paste this here. Okay, g, print type g, and let me print the value of g as well, print g, shift enter, and this is 2 and class is integer. I am copying this and I will check this for octal as well. Copy this and paste this, changing the variable name to h and b to o. So you can use small o or capital O for writing octal values, and base 8 is used to represent octal. Correcting it. Okay, now let's run this. So you can see here this is 8 and class is integer. Okay, moving on. Another data type is sequence data type, which stores sequence of data. Lists, tuples and strings are sequence data type, and later we'll see dedicated lectures on these topics. These are very vast topics, very important topics. Here we are only dealing with the basic data type, so how this looks and what are the basic things. Let's see this. So lists are mutable, means which can be modified. Simply mutable means which can be modified. And to write a list, we write this in square brackets. So it is written in square brackets. I have got a list my underscore list and square bracket. Let me write 1 2 3 4 and one string Python. Okay, we can print this also. So print and my underscore list. Okay, now I will copy this and let me change this for tuple. My tuples. Okay, what are tuples? Tuples are very similar to list, except there are two features very important. First, tuples are immutable, which means that which cannot be modified once created. Let me write this: which cannot be modified once created, and they are written in normal parenthesis, not square, normal parenthesis. Let me check these brackets. Okay, to normal, and changing this variable name also, my tuples. So another thing, strings. Now we have dealt with a string in last lecture, basic strings, how to write a string. Here also we are only dealing with writing strings. Python is fun, we have already written this also. So you know that strings is written within quotes. In fact, single quotes, double quotes, triple quotes, anything written within quotes is a string. So simply, I'm not going to in detail here. We have seen this how to write a string in last lecture. Print my underscore str, and okay. So this is list in square brackets. We can check type also. Print type my list, my underscore list. Similarly, print type my underscore tuple, my underscore tuples, and similarly print bracket type, oh sorry, my str. Let me select this and put this inside type. Print type, and inside this my str, shift enter, and it will display the type list. Okay, you can see here list, type and str. Moving on, another data type is map data type, and this holds the data in form of key value pair, and the data type name is dictionary. My dict is a variable name. To write dictionary, curly braces are used, and it holds a key value pair separated by colon. So I'm writing a, which is a string in quotes, then colon, then 1. So basically a is key here and 1 is value here, and I can assign multiple key value pairs within a dictionary. Let me comment this thing also. Curly braces are used with key colon value pair. Printing this, print bracket my underscore dict, and printing the type also. Print type my underscore dict, and shift enter. Okay, so this is dictionary, class dictionary colon. So this is the representation of dictionary data type. Another is set data type, which contains unique set of elements, and set and frozen set belongs to this set data type. Let's see how it is written. It is also written in curly braces like dictionary, but one important thing, there is no key value pair. So this is the difference. You have to remember curly braces are used, but there is no colon, there is no key value pair in set. Curly braces defines a set. Print bracket my underscore set, and type also we can check print type my set. Okay, and for frozen set, okay, so this is set 1 2 3 4. Now I'm copying this for frozen set. I'll copy this and paste it here. I'll change the variable name, otherwise it will overwrite. My set 1, my set 1, my underscore set 1, and frozen set keyword is used. Remember this thing, frozen set keyword is used, and then everything is written within normal parenthesis. So frozen set is nothing, sets are mutable, can be changed, and frozen by literal English meaning freezed, it has been freeze. So frozen, as the name suggests, which cannot be changed once created, that is, it becomes immutable. Okay, after running it you can see, and you see the output, unique set of elements, so no duplicate elements are allowed. So if you have to create a set, a list in which you don't want any duplicacy, then you use set. Boolean data type. Boolean data types are simply used to determine true or false condition, and bool method is generally used, and it takes one parameter, like I am writing here 5, or let me write here a, and you can see output given is true. So basically if no parameter is passed, or it is empty, or 0 is passed, then by default it returns false value, or it displays false value. And in Python, Boolean data type has true and false, and the uppercase T and F are capital. So T and F in true and false are uppercase, are written in uppercase. Okay, before moving on, let's see one feature of Jupyter Notebook. First, change this code section to Markdown. Now I am minimizing it, going to desktop. I have got an image here. Let me drag and drop this. I am dragging this and dropping this to this Markdown cell. Now this is not code, this is Markdown. Okay, do remember this. Okay, you can see some syntax written here. This is the syntax of our image. Let me run this using Shift Enter. Okay, I am running this. So you can see you can also drag and drop image files here on Jupyter Notebook, making your writing pad more attractive. And this diagram has been taken from Java T-Point. Okay, moving on, type conversion. Now the above methods were implicitly data type. By implicit we mean that we don't need Python to tell that 5 is an integer and Python is a string. It knows that. But by type conversion we can do explicit data typing also. So here it is a is equal to 5. Now I can at runtime use print str a, or initially I can write a is equal to str5. So let's check this. A equal to str and in bracket 5, and similarly b equal to int5. This b is a string, you can see the output, and now I'm explicitly changing it to integer. By running it, what happens? Okay, now the variable a has been changed to str and b to int. This is explicit conversion. Similarly, you can also convert list to tuple, or tuple to sets, or tuples to list, or tuples to anything, and vice versa. So now this is now list in a square bracket and tuples in normal parenthesis. Let me convert this list to tuple by using tuple keyword. So I am writing tuple convert and entering in bracket. Similarly here I can write in my tuple also list. So list is keyword, and let me put this in bracket. Okay, and I am commenting this type section, this type statement, because I am converting my list to tuple and tuple to list, but I am not assigning it to anything. So this type will give the original list and original tuple type. See, now this has been changed. My list bracket, see the brackets. Now this is square bracket for tuple, so it has been changed. Okay, moving on. Now converting any data type into dictionary is very complicated process at this point, of course, because we are unfamiliar with some standard advanced functions and advanced coding style, because dictionary involves key and value pair. So there are some advanced functions to make it easy. At this point we see how to convert a list or tuple into a dictionary. Now dictionary needs key value pair, so I have used two lists here. One list will act as key and another with value. Dict keyword is used, and advanced function zip is used. In zip I am passing both the lists, list1 comma list2, and let me run this. Print my dict, print my underscore dict, and print type also. Let me write the type also. Okay, so this is a colon 1 b2 c3. Now zip is a function which is used to hold values together, and it has been derived from simple English meaning zip, which we use zips in bags, in trousers, in jackets. So what zip does, zip holds two parts or two portion of our luggage bag together or our jacket together. So here also it is using same thing. It is zipping up. It is zipping one list to another. It is zipping one tuple to another. So it has been converted into dictionary. Similarly, there are many more methods and we'll deal with in dictionary lecture later. Now Python is dynamically typed language. We don't need to write database data types beforehand, but still we can set the data type in prior. Like see here, I have set already int5, strpython, list, dict. So if you use these keywords beforehand, you are setting that okay, now this has to be list, this has to be set. Now we're not converting it, we are already setting it, and running this you can see. Okay, so these were the basic data types you must know before going on the official website of python.org, and in standard library documentation there are many specialized data types like date, time, calendar, binary data types, and these are called by using modules. They have got their own objects and methods as well. So when we learn about modules later, we'll see them in detail. For the time being, only this much, this basic built-in data type knowledge is necessary. So concluding this chapter here, we'll meet in next lecture. I'll urge you to practice more and more. Thank you. Do comment if you have any doubts.